16-year-old Anna Mitchell Hedges, nicknamed Sammy, had spotted a glittering, glassy-looking object lying just out of reach under the earthquake-tumbled walls of what had once been a Mayan temple. At Lubatan, a Mayan word that means the city of fallen stone, one by one the giant slabs were removed as the crew sought to uncover the large object which lay gleaming beneath the rubble. But it was not until January 7th, 1924, the day of her 17th birthday, that the final slab was lifted clear and the upper portion of the crystal skull was finally retrieved. The celestial beacon was a night of magic for every person present. I had come to this event with a little conscious knowledge as to what it was all about, but as the evening progressed, an inexplicable joy began to radiate through my whole being. Mind had no choice but to step aside and allow me to ride this incredible, unseen wave of energy. During the evening, when we could move to the pyramids, Mr. Sound seemed to guide me to that one spot where his pulsing and my voice could best merge. I sat with Mr. Light at the end of the event, open to receiving the many images he sent me. He was so luminous by that point, the textured extensions of crystal on his facets were obliterated from view. And then there were the minutes spent in front of the crystal skull. I personally had no conscious knowledge of this skull before that evening, but there I was, standing in front of this ancient Mayan artifact that scientists believe must have taken over 150 years to make. Generation after generation of Mayans must have worked their entire lives patiently rubbing the pure rock crystal down with sand. Or perhaps the skull was created by means that we cannot as yet come close to understanding. Passing my hands over the skull seemed to cast wave upon wave of incredibly vast energy through my body. Some deeply buried ancient memory seemed to be ignited, and for a few minutes my hands played that skull like a musical instrument. It was a dance of energy, and again that wordless joy from deep inside sprang forth. This image of my experience very much mirrors in some form that of all participants, whether they were conscious of it or not. And what of Christopher's impressions? The whole scene before him was equally as magical as he progressed from bowl to bowl. Climbing up the musical scale, he could see people's energy dissolving blocks and becoming lighter and brighter. As each of the skull's sonic locks were removed, each person was dissolving and unlocking pockets of resistance. The skull had been programmed to release these specific pulses of energy to the participants gathered before it at this specific time. This served to promote the engagement of higher concentrations of light within each person. To quote Christopher directly, "Your viewpoint of time is a reference of your own state of consciousness. I hope you can see how the planetary grid is continuously adjusting itself as our solar and galactic influences are always in flux. This is reflected in our Earth changes or adjustments, environmental changes, and even collective and individual changes in our society today. I can tell you that the crystal skull, which was a critical component in the celestial beacon, had never been accessed below a surface level of engagement. The deeper levels remain dormant, and temporal shields cloak these specific energies until the time sequence of our planetary time wave matched the access codes imprinted in the skull. The time match came about and provided the window to accomplish the casting of the celestial beacon. The skull and I had this appointment together long ago to cast the beacon and to unlock the door to our next great adventure as a planet. The celestial beacon catapulted me into a new realm of teaching, for I began to share with people the opening of the 12 gates. The opening of the gates is the most powerful and direct experience I have imparted to others. End of quote. Let the adventure continue for each and every one of us.